This is
What's up, everybody? Welcome to
what's
episode
going on,
48.
guys?
Hey, are you delayed
Sorry
a little
about that.
bit?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, a little bit. For some reason, it kicked in. But what's going on, guys? This is Frank.
All right.
We're episode 48, and we have very special guests. We have Sin and Joshua Coburn.
Hello, hello.
And just how are y'all today?
Doing good. How are you guys?
How we're doing
Nice.
good. Yeah,
Good.
it's a beautiful day over here in Texas, at least. I don't know about over there in Cali and North Carolina and where you guys are, but hopefully it's all good there. Real quick, we're gonna start off with the panel. We're gonna see what we're smoking, what we're pairing. Hugo, what are you smoking? What are you pairing, brother?
Hey, how's it going? Hugo of Hugo Smokes. I got the Rave tonight, and I believe this one is an Ecuador, Connecticut wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler. Is that correct? Let's see.
They might have froze.
Oh, their internet was a little bit bad, huh?
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
a
they-
little bit bad. Don't jump on it.
Actually, this one has an Ecuadorian binder and a filler from Nicaragua and the DR. Oh, it's a little bit more complex than that. And for pairing, I brought out two different spirits depending how the cigar behaves. So I have a Bib Tucker, which is a small batch bourbon whiskey from. I bought it in Tennessee, but I think you can get it online and stuff. And then
Nice.
I have this mezcal, which I opened up yesterday. This one I bought it from Tequila, and it's been sitting for like about a year. And really enjoyed this pour of this yesterday to celebrate Mexican Independence Day. But I think I'm gonna go with the bourbon because I need a little bit of like sweetness on this cigar. So yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry, that was a long intro.
You're good. You're good. Yeah. So while we wait for them to kick back in, Steven, what are you smoking? And what are you?
I got the Rave also, and I did the peek ahead. So I went ahead and kind of checked a review on it first because I was curious about if it was going to do the spice thing.
Yeah.
So I knew to bring something sweet. I didn't go bourbon today. I went with that rum that I picked up on my travels, and
nice.
so that's going to be some nice sweetness for this.
Awesome.
Nice.
Randall, what you got, Randall?
So I'm smoking the soapbox today, which I believe I read about it before. I believe it's an Ecuadorian Maduro wrapper, Ecuadorian binder, Nicaraguan filler. And then I'm pairing it with a very straight pour of the Mount Gay rum that I had last week. I've been on a rum kick recently. Like usually it's whiskey, but I've just been getting into like straight pours of rum recently. Also, I got to say I'm a little bit embarrassed. I didn't realize. I knew we were doing the new intro. I didn't realize I was wearing the same shirt as the shirt I was wearing in the intro. So I won't make that mistake again. I saw myself. I was like, oh, I'm wearing that shirt. Okay, but anyways.
Hey, just take it off right now, bro. It's all good.
You're right. Yeah, I got a white shirt under it, so I just got to take
Get us
the
those views.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know, like
It's funny how that's the first place that Hugo went to.
hey,
man.
bro. What's up, Hector?
All right. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for
Hector,
joining
Hector.
early. Make sure you leave a like.
Yeah.
Hector.
Smash that like button.
Right now, we're waiting for the guests. They were having internet issues.
So my name is Frank, of course. Yeah. So can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
bit delayed.
Frank, we can hear you.
It's delayed. My bad.
Yeah, I don't know why for some reason. Yeah, no, you're good. So I'm doing the Molotov. This is their LE. It comes with a cool little little top. I don't know if I can show it on here, but it's a cool little top that goes pretty neat. And I'm pairing it. I've been on an old fashioned kick, so I just have an old fashioned in my cup, and I have it in this cup because there's bugs around, and they like to swan dive into my old fashioned.
Oh,
yeah.
what's up, Javi? How you doing, bro? What's up, Sober Cigars? Oh, he had the rave earlier. What's up, man? Oh, and then Julian
nice.
C's in the house also.
Yeah, my buddy Julian.
What's up, Julian? Molotov a couple weeks ago.
go.
It was great. We got Josephus in the house and
Rum Springer comment.
Yeah, mystical smell.
Mel.
Frank, while we're waiting for the guest to come back.
Mel.
Frank, while we're waiting for the guest to come back, was that like a pigtail type deal where you just kind of can pull it off and you're good, or did you just cut it off?
Well, you can. I think you can pull it off. I don't know. I mean, I didn't want to risk it, so I cut it off. Yeah, but
okay.
So it's supposed to mimic what the Molotov looks like, right? When you put the towel and the not that I know what a Molotov or anything like that, but it's supposed to mimic that. It's good so far.
For sure. Yeah. Mel saying that she's craving a old fashioned now. And by the way, fun fact, thank you, Edgar, for explaining what a Molotov was. I had no idea that was a Molotov, like the makeshift freaking
the firebomb
bottle with the alcohol. Yeah,
firebomb.
Firebomb.
I'm not a thug, bro. I had no idea.
Yeah, sure you're not a thug.
Not a protester either. That's a protester's bomb right there.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, like, I know you guys. Well, Frank probably knows this. The Spanish rock band Molotov. So I was thinking.
Did I say that?
Yeah. So I was thinking, it was named after the band, but apparently not. Or I don't know. I mean, when they come back, we could ask. Did you text them to see if they're doing all right?
They're running downstairs to connect to the internet. So, well,
okay.
Hopefully wired.
Yeah, unfortunately, they currently live in Nicaragua, so it's the internet. They say that's and they live out in their like they say the jungle, but it's like their plantation, their farm and stuff. So they're kind of
they live in the wild.
Well, fortunately for us, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. making sure this is crispy.
Yeah.
There you go.
So what's going on with everybody this week, man? How's everybody doing? With this heat wave here in Cali, and then how's Texas? And then also Randall.
Yeah, man. California, it's been a little warm. Like I usually do the stream from my smoke shed, and it was just like 85 degrees in there, and I was like, nah, I'd like to not just sweat to death because the evening is really nice. Like the weather right now is perfect, but yeah, inside in an air conditioned area that's been like stuffy all day was not cool. So, but otherwise, week's been good, man.
Nice.
That's good.
Looks like our guests are back in. Hopefully they're
Yay!
Okay.
Hey,
What's
back.
going on?
Thank you guys for your patience. Greatly appreciated.
No worries.
no problem at all.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
We had to run all the way downstairs and get on the internet down here. So in Nicaragua, we have to use satellite internet. And so it can get tricky sometimes because we live in a jungle and we just had a big storm. It's not preferred doing stuff down here outside because, as you can tell, you can hear our frogs and everything. But apparently this is the only way we can do it tonight. So welcome to our life.
Yeah. Are those frogs the Budweiser frogs? Budweiser.
They sure sound like it. They I know you guys can't see like our pools over here, and like they literally line our entire pool every night during rainy season. And it's rainy season right now. So they just go crazy.
Oh,
Weird.
I thought you guys were like in the attic somewhere.
This is actually our dining room. Our dining room is outside. So we're sitting at our dining room table right now.
Awesome. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
How's the weather over there?
All right.
Tonight, pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's chilly.
It started off pretty hot today, which I was pretty bummed about because rainy season is usually cooler. But then all these storms came, so it's been really nice because maybe only 10 days out of the year is like sweater weather for us. So I really embrace those days where I can wear hoodies. And that's probably how it's going to be tonight, but we'll see. I don't know. It's my favorite time of year here is when we get rainy season. So.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. So go ahead and introduce
yeah,
yourselves.
sure.
Yeah, before we jump into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, we're Sid and Joshua Coburn from Dissedent Cigars. And yeah, we live in the jungle of Nicaragua. So, and I'm actually smoking
Nice.
the Molotov. So weird, smoking my own
Alright.
face, but it's one of my favorite cigars.
Hey, look at you. All right.
That's the one. I'm doing the
Yeah.
same one here.
I wanted to smoke that one, but Frank was being stingy. He didn't send it to me.
I only have one left. I'm like, I had.
Got the core line here.
Nice.
Soapbox.
That's a win.
We got
for sure.
two people.
I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. We should have grabbed the Penelope bourbon bottle so you guys could see that. The cigar sessions that I just did with them. If you guys haven't heard about that.
I saw it on your social media.
Yeah.
And there was a previous podcast you were on. I kind of did some homework, and you were talking about it with the smoke something guys.
Yeah. That one is crazy. It's hard to find, but it's not the end of the story. So there'll definitely be more and more series to it. I don't know. Do you have shoes on? Do you want to grab?
I don't, but I can go. And I'm smoking a yet undisclosed Cynthia blend that we can't talk about yet. So,
but it's so good. I mean, look at
Oh,
the size of
nice.
this thing compared to.
But you tease us anyway by smoking
I
on
know.
the podcast.
I
Nice.
blended a few different ones, and this one was ultimately my favorite. So.
Well, I gotta say, I'm
So-
enjoying the burn on this one so far. This is one of your core
Nice.
lines. Yeah, one of your core lines. But the core lines do well.
Yeah, man, can't be mad at that burn.
No, not at all.
Look at that.
Very good.
Perfect.
Oh, nice. Oh, you have the round rave. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a box rave.
There
Yeah.
is. Yeah. The box is, I think, 5x52 box
Yep.
press, and then the round is 5x50.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I just saw it here. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Do you guys have any pairings? Are you pairing with anything?
No, but he just grabbed this for you guys to see.
There you go.
That's the cigar bourbon that I just did with Penelope.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that looks so good.
Which is-
Nice.
yeah, it's for those uninitiated. It is made for pairing with cigars, not to taste like cigars, which I know may seem silly to all of us here, but the number of messages that we see come through where people think that this is a
Supposed to
cigar
mimic a
bourbon.
cigar.
right. Yeah.
No.
No.
I actually, this was in partnership with Lee Marsh from Stolen Throne. Him and I worked on this together. Actually, it took us about 2.5 years to develop this bourbon. And the mash bill is pretty crazy. I believe it's a light American whiskey, and gosh, I can't remember the percentages now, but it's like I have to pull it up. But the mash bill is crazy. I'm not like highly educated in bourbon because this was more smoking cigars and blending bourbons. And people were stunned at this mash bill because it's not something you'd normally see together. But Lee and I never tasted this on its own. We did it strictly with cigars to come up with what we did. So it was pretty crazy. It was a fun experience, and I don't know, like it's not over. I'll tell you that much. This one is sessions 1 because there's going to be multiple.
Chapter 1, right? Yeah, chapter 1.
Oh yes, chapter 1 in the cigar sessions series.
Awesome. Looking
Very
forward
nice.
That's
to
nice.
grabbing one of those bottles whenever
Yeah,
I
I'm
see
looking at it. I went finding it right now.
Yeah. Did you find a site that actually has it available?
Don't
I'm
gatekeep
curious.
now.
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Because so crazy story, right? Over 2 years ago when we started developing this, Penelope actually wasn't. They're used to doing like small batch runs. They're doing a lot of like limited editions. And Lee and I were like, hey, you should do X amount of bottles. And they went with X amount of bottles that were less than what we said. And they quickly sold out and they upped it. And they ended up doing more than double what they thought, which is exactly like what we said. So it sold out so fast, which we knew was going to happen, but it was just so crazy. And so I just did the Kentucky Bourbon Fest, and they brought another, I believe it was like 11,000 bottles. I'm almost certain it was 11,000 bottles. Anyway, that whole weekend they ended up selling out of it during the Kentucky Bourbon Fest as well. So just crazy. So yeah, if you have any information on where it's available, I would love to know so we can pass it on to people, because so many people are still trying to find it.
Let me get my order in first.
Gatekeeper.
So it's interesting. You're right.
I know,
blend
right?
is really
I know.
Interesting, right? Like so, straight bourbon, American single malt, and American light whiskey, 6-year age, bottled at 101 proof. So
Yes.
yeah, you don't see a lot of light whiskey in blends, and I have never seen it in a cigar malt. So that's very cool.
Yeah. Yep. And we went into it blind for that reason, because we didn't want to be biased towards any certain bourbon, whether it was rye or whatever. We just didn't want to know in our minds what we were working with. So we literally had drams that were just marked A, B, C, D, E, F. And then we kept going through the process, and then we'd start blending those and changing the cigars around. And ultimately we came up with this blend, and we decided to do it with medium bodied cigars. And that really opened the door to doing more in the future, because we quickly learned that you can't just have a bourbon that pairs well with every cigar. That's just not possible, because if you have a mash bill, say, where it's like not as heavy on the rye or more heavy on the rye, that may not go well with a full body cigar, or vice versa. Like, we saw that immediately. So we had to find the perfect balance between both, with the medium body and this 101 proof. And actually, and it says 6 years on it, but I believe we were only a couple days shy of 7 years. So that's pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Really interesting stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm barely getting into pairings myself, and like bourbons and stuff like that. Before I was just drink to get drunk, and now I actually drink to enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, we're Steven, I think, and maybe Randall are the more nerds on spirits right now, but for sure, Steven.
Yeah.
And we actually have another a panel member, Sips and Sticks. He might be in the comments tonight. He is a for sure a Penelope fanatic, so he's gonna be flipping out right now if he sees
Make sure Steven gets his order in.
That's
something
right.
interesting that I learned actually when I just did this business trip with them is that they're the fastest growing bourbon company right now. Like, I thought this was like, not true information, tooting their own horn. No, it's true. And like, that's so crazy, because it just started off as two guys that were just really passionate about bourbon, and now they got acquired, and MGP owns that. Like, it's just so crazy. They've like exploded.
That's crazy. That's like Penelope, I have seen over the years grow, but like they were always on my radar because they come to like in the same way that a lot of brand owners will do cut and lights for cigar lounges. We've had Penelope come to our annual events for our local whiskey club. And so like I've gotten to sample their stuff year over year over year. And I didn't realize that they were this growing brand, because I've seen them every year just showing up to these events and promoting their brand. So I'm glad that they're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're doing real well.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Can I ask you all something? Do you try it in a few ways. Do you try with a cigar first, then the bourbon, and then try bourbon first, then cigar, and then, because you said you only tried it with the cigar. I was wondering if you tried it in a few different sessions to make sure it matched in every way.
So what we did was we actually got pretty much every cigar from the Dissident line, and we lined it up, and it was just Josh and I. And I believe that Lee did the same thing with his entire line of cigars. And so we did that, and then we also set all the drams out that they sent us, because it started off as us, the Nicaragua, Lee where he is, and then obviously where Penelope is. So we are doing this independently. And we just lit every cigar, and then we tasted every dram on its own, and then started narrowing it down. And then after that, and obviously we would take notes of every single dram. And then
with every single cigar.
Yes, with every single cigar. I mean, like our spreadsheets and notes were just crazy. But yes, we tasted these drams on their own, but they were how do I explain it? They weren't blends. They were samples of like these straight from the barrel kind of things. We didn't have any information on it. Only Mike and Danny had information on it. And then once we narrowed it down with those, we did it again with a whole, like another like subgroup of drams that they sent us. And then narrowed it down again. And we basically had like A, B, and C. What was our top favorite, second favorite? And this was still with cigars. So we never really drank it on its own until we started finalizing what we wanted to do. But if you'll notice, if you drink this bourbon on its own, it has no finish. But if you were to take a medium body cigar that's not heavy on the pepper, all of a sudden these flavors explode, both in your cigar and in the bourbon, which is exactly what we were going for. So that's how we did that. And actually we met in Vegas. It would have been 3 years ago now. 2 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, as a whole. So Penelope flew in, and we all sat down together and did this again for like the fourth time, and then drank it all on its own without cigars, and kind of just relaxed and went through the process and everything. Because the reason why Penelope chose us was because they knew nothing about cigars. They knew that this is something that they needed to do, but they were like, hey, we aren't cigar smokers. We don't trust ourselves with this. We're giving you the keys to the castle. Figure this out. And what was so awesome is Lee had his opinions, and it turned out that our opinions were the same about the same things. So that was just proof in the pudding that we knew what we were talking about, and we were all getting the same result from the same different bourbons and mixtures of bourbons, actually. Because while we were in Vegas, Danny was sitting there with his what are those little tester vial things that scientists
like
use?
The beaker and
he had like
the beaker,
literally, and he's on his knees, and he's just like doing all these things. He's like, how about this? And we're like, no, you do this. And we're like, no, we're still sticking with this one. So it was a really fun experience. And so essentially, like, this isn't public knowledge yet, but essentially we're going to be doing this again. And now our focus is going to be towards something different. We don't know yet what that's going to be, but obviously we already did medium body. So we don't know if we're going to do full body or Connecticut, or try to come up with something completely different. We don't know yet, but that's why it took us over 2.5 years to do this, because we wanted to make sure this was done properly, because we quickly found out that so many brands actually just slap a label on their bottle and they call it a cigar bourbon, but they never really tested it with cigars. They just figured it's going to go good with one of the cigars out there, but they've never actually had brand owners sit down and figure this out. So this is a really, really unique product. I'm humbled by it. I'm so thankful that they look to me for this. Women, we have a unique ability to pick up really, really minute notes in our taste buds, and they recognize that. So that was a really awesome thing, and I'm proud to be part of the Penelope team now and continuing this whole thing. It's a really exciting time. So
and I'm just busy being the arm candy and all this. So
there you go. Hey, that's the hardest part, man. That's the hardest part.
It is. All the photos and the posing.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even want the beer.
Yeah, right.
Like, I have to have it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out sourced whiskey has no soul.
Source whiskey has no soul. It may be true. It may be true.
But it sounds like you had like the ideal experience for somebody who knows how to blend cigars, because you essentially did puritos for your whiskey tasting, right? Like you tasted each separately, and then so I mean, it sounds like the ideal experience for you guys to do, right?
It was a crazy experience. I don't know that I've ever had so much whiskey in my life. Like that was crazy. And to think we're gonna do this again, like and again and again.
Oh, no.
It's
Shucks.
crazy. I know, right? But it's awesome because, you know, like even with Dissident, we're still coming up with new cigars and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes because, you know, like Josh is smoking one that we're going to be rolling out here in I don't know how long. But this is undisclosed, but it's a completely different blend with actually a tobacco that we've never used before and that actually other companies can't even get their hands on. But we're actually working directly in the fields now, and we have our own tobacco that we're growing, and it's allowing us to do so much more now. And it's just crazy because now that we have this unique tobacco, I'm like, oh, how is this going to pair with certain, you know, blends with Penelope? It's just, it's really exciting, actually.
Very much.
Very nice.
Yeah, if you guys need any helpers, let us know. I mean, we're down to take a trip down there, you know?
Yeah, and our palates. Yeah, our palates are fresh. I mean, don't think just because of tonight. Like we, you know, brush our teeth and we're good.
We actually did at one point. We enlisted some friends of ours too, just because we're like, okay, like we've been drinking this for so long now. Like we need some outside opinions on this just to make sure, you know, we're all accurate in what we're saying. So they were like, oh hell yeah, you know. So that was a lot of fun.
And weirdly, like she was talking with Lee and her and really it's funny because with those two, they kept coming up with the same kind of things and they both have a taste for all this stuff, right? And I of course participated in this, but my opinions were weirdly very similar, and like my taste doesn't work. Like, you know, I can't taste notes of things. Like I'm just not that guy. And then our friends who helped out just to kind of see and give us feedback, they had very similar feedback also as we were kind of pairing things up with them. And it's just insane to know that like you can take all these arbitrary elements and put them together and get the same result. I mean, yes, it's science. We all understand that. But what's crazy is like, I think of, you know, guys that do craft beer, guys that do rums, guys that do coffees, wines, all this stuff is you end up with what you end up with because these groups of people or these ideas or whatever come together to create this thing, and it wouldn't exist otherwise without that. You know, it's insane.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. And you said Penelope came to you, right?
Yeah. Actually, so there's
congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. There's a guy named Donnie. He goes by Donnie Sent Me on Instagram. And he was the one that actually recommended this project quite a while ago, well before we got involved. But it ended up changing what the project looked like. And he ultimately was like, hey, I think we should do it this way instead and involve some cigar brand owners. I think this is the right way to do it. And so then that's when they reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in it. I can't remember what the original project was, but it wasn't with brand owners originally. I think maybe it was like partnering with a brand and coming up with a cigar maybe that they were going to push. I think that's how it originally went. And then they ultimately decided to do it this way instead.
Which was way better.
Yeah, way better. And I mean, obviously, like you can see with the success of it, it was a great move. So
awesome. How's your guys' cigar going? Mine is still burning pretty straight here. It's got a little peak there.
Look at that ash.
Yeah, chat. Can we get likes for this ash?
Yeah.
I mean, it's burning great. It tastes great. I have no complaints.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mine's a little bit more beat up because it's only maybe
a month,
3 weeks, a month off the table. So this is a second time through or something on this. So
Yeah.
Again,
And that was a 6x60
Nice.
too. So
yeah.
I don't know that it's going to stay that size,
wow.
but we're testing out the 6x60s because I've been asked so many times. It doesn't matter where I travel in the United States, someone is always going to ask me about a 6x60, which is crazy because that's not typically how I am. I like smaller cigars because I get bored. But this guy will
love 'em.
smoke a 6x60 all the time.
Even if they're not available publicly, they will be available at my house. I promise.
the
You know,
American
I
market is
like that
crazy.
too.
Was that an invite?
I like the smoke, and I just like the time and everything else.
Same. The more time,
Yeah.
I like that. I hate when a cigar ends. And like,
Me
I know
too.
some people are like, well, I can have like 3 petite Coronas and, you know, it's a different experience every time. I'm like, yeah, but the disappointment of ending, you know, like that sucks. Like, so for me, it's more, I just want to sit with it and enjoy it and have the peace with it. And the other thing too, for people that are buying at retail, I have a feeling that the 6x60 and 2.5 hours of a slow smoke is going to be better on the pocketbook than 3 petite Coronas. You know what I mean? So I can advocate for that too.
I think that's why it's a popular size, right?
Yeah.
a lot of
Plus, I think you can blend a stronger cigar in a 660, and it smoothens out for the extra oxygen, right? The airflow that you get into the cigar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
So-
depends because there's some pretty heavy wrappers out there too. So I mean, like, I can't personally, like, I don't smoke the Dissident Tirade. That's way too strong for me. But this 6x60 that he has, it's actually a really smooth, flavorful cigar. Like lots of notes of like milk chocolate versus like a dark chocolate. I don't know. It's a very good cigar, but it has a leaf in it that
Yeah, we can.
I don't know that I can talk about it or
Not
not.
yet.
Did you
But,
just give it away? Did you just give it away at the Tirade 660?
Oh
No.
Oh god.
That's already Tirade.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
The price that we would have to charge at retail for that because of the wrapper leaf in that volume, unless we did like 800 million of them, would end up costing way too much, in my opinion, for a 6x60 cigar. That's my 2 cents anyway. Like, I mean, the Tirade's great. And we attempted a 660 Tirade. We talked about it, what, 2 years ago?
Mhm.
Because if you look at the core line, it's a little wacky, the sizes, but the Rant and the Tirade are too perfect in their sizes. I wanted to go bigger because I love the Tirade, but you can, but it ends up at retail being like a $25 cigar because the blend and the wrapper leaf is too expensive. So that's why it just, I couldn't justify it. I don't think that either of us want to see a $25 Dissident cigar. Just not who we are.
And right now is a really, it's a hard time in the cigar industry because of the tariffs. Because at 18%, you know, you have to decide whether the manufacturer eats the cost or that goes to the retailer and the consumer. And I mean, it's tough times right now in the industry. And I really hope that the tariffs get dropped, you know, lowered substantially, whatever it may be. But I mean, if those keep going, that's going to change a lot for the cigar industry on, you know, what cost looks like. Because also tobacco prices are going up too, you know. So what does the 6x60 look like at that point? You know, it's scary, you know. But
Cigars Unbanded, I see you. I look like I've been to prison, though I haven't, and I'm enjoying 660.
I did see that someone mentioned Northern Cigars too. That's awesome. They've been paying attention because Northern Cigars, they are brothers who are Nicaraguan, and they actually have farms here in Nicaragua, and they particularly grow in Ometepe. And now we have part ownership, and so we have the ability to grow whatever we want of any type, any kind, on a couple different places. And so that's really awesome. So people are listening to our little hints that we're dropping. So Northern Cigars is the company that grows the tobacco. So, and they have a lot of land on Ometepe.
And they also have very good cigar blends of their own.
Yes,
If you can get them, there's only 2 places in the States that carry them. And that's deliberate right now. So, and again, we haven't talked about any of this or released anything like to press or anything about it because we're not there yet. We still got a lot of things to do before all that drops, but there's some really cool stuff happening. That's what we'll say.
A
Awesome.
lot.
Oh, yes.
So having said that, is your project vertically integrated? So you do the farming, the cultivating, and all that, and
Yes.
and production and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Slow and steady to get all that set up.
I know it's a very slow process, slower than I would like it to be. But there's so much legal stuff that goes into that, and making sure all your ducks are in a row. Nicaragua actually last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, started a new kind of like health department type thing. So you have to like register all your cigars now. And within each cigar name, so you register Dissident, obviously, but within Dissident, you register every cigar name. And within that cigar name, if you have multiple vitolas, you now have to register each vitola within that. And that is so expensive to do because you have to pay for every one of those. So there's just so much process to this when you start to do this on your own. It just takes so much time. So, and then on top of that, I'm also now, for those of you that don't know, doing a lot with PCA, the Premium Cigar Association, helping to fight the laws that they're trying to put in place on a federal level or an even state level. So I have a lot going on right now.
Work on California, please.
Oh,
I
Lord.
know.
Brutal.
Yeah, I couldn't when that latest information dropped. I was just like, oh my gosh, so many boutique brands are going to have to pull out of California because it's just financially.
Yeah.
And they don't have the staff to even do the back end stuff needed. There's just no way.
No, Stockton even announced today, right? He's not going to do it. He's not going to play ball at all.
Yeah, he's out. How's that looking for Dissident? Do you have B&Ms that offer your cigars here in California?
Yeah.
Yes, there are. But the problem is even if we don't move forward with doing all that registration and paying all that money, if we don't know what that looks like, because if we don't do that, what does that mean for the brick and mortars that still have our cigars? Does that make them illegal?
Yes, it does.
So
you can't sell through. So
You can't. Yeah, there's no grandfather clause for this.
Right.
Yep.
So we don't know how to handle it. We're still talking about it right now. Financially, I think unless you're a big boy in this industry, you just can't afford it. There's just no way. It's going to flip so many boutique brands that are in California, unfortunately. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right. Having the fee per SKU means that even the big ones are going to at least reduce SKU. They're going to they're not going to offer as many vitolas. We're going to be significantly limited. And you're right; those retailers are going to get punished because come January 1st, they're not going to be able to sell existing stock that's not on the list.
Yep.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
I know.
And then Frank's chilling in Texas right now.
Mhm.
One of the best states. One of the best states in the 50 states that sell cigars.
But there's a key here that makes for a really nice lawsuit. So I'll throw this out there if the PCA is interested.
Yeah.
It is against the U.S. Constitution for a state to try to regulate interstate commerce.
Yeah.
Because they have a
that's been
specific
talked about.
clause. They have a specific clause in there that tries to control what other states are sending into this state of California. So there's grounds to get the whole thing taken away. But
It's absolute overreach. And some people are thinking, oh, it's just California. But what I keep saying is this is like putting a frog in a pot of water and slowly turning up the heat. And the more we allow it, the more things are going to happen. And that's why I was just in DC to talk to senators in the House of Representatives, because they have to have an understanding of what cigars are. Because right now they're being lumped in with cigarettes and vaping products. They don't understand it. And so they're like, oh, yeah, whatever, and that's exactly what's happening. So that's why we went to DC to talk to these people to be like, look, this is something completely different. Even like the origins of cigars are completely different. You are literally hurting the livelihood of so many people beyond the United States. We see it here all the time. So like this has to be fought by everyone, not just PCA. PCA is just the governing body of it, but we all have to come together to actually fight these laws and these things they're trying to put through, because if we don't, it's going to go away. It's going to.
Right.
That doesn't seem like that's possible, but that it is very possible. I mean, and we're seeing it right now. Look what California just did, you know. That's mind-blowing. I even thought, I'm like, there's no way they're going to do this, you know, and they did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what in the world? So, I mean, it's very plausible.
I will submit that this is a protected religious activity. I am in a Cohiba ceremony right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a protected religious activity. So I think we need to start hardlining on that.
And you know what? All we have to do is get a certificate through PCA, the governing body, and have you come down here. We'll connect you with the ancient shamans so you can become the lead at your shop or for your local group.
Let's do it.
So those things are doable. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but really, like that's possible.
And
you know, I was going to say, my thing is, unlike Canada, we don't get free healthcare and everything like that. So like, there's no reason to push people out of something. Like, you know, Canada, they high taxes on cigars. We all know that. They don't even like to let you show off your beautiful bands here. But they get free healthcare. We don't. So why make something else a problem for small businesses, for people from different countries, from different whatever? I mean, you don't have to smoke cigars. It's not a requirement to be in the U.S., right? To be in California. So I don't understand the situation, but what's up,
one
Ray?
of the biggest things I talked about too was that it is kind of like a ceremony, and cigars really do save lives. I mean, the amount of veterans I've met and police officers who smoke cigars, it's their hour to get away. It's their hour to calm down from the day. I mean, those are legit stories, and this can't go away. And, you know, you talk about Cohiba and everything. That's very much alive here in places like Nicaragua. In fact, Josh did a ceremony one time, and he had a medicine woman that took pure tobacco, and it was in a powder form.
It's called rape.
Yeah, rape. And they put it in this like V-shaped pipe basically, and they put one end up your nose, and they pack it with the raw tobacco, and the medicine woman comes on the other side and shoots it up your nose really fast. And I've never tried it, but Josh said it gives you like this very euphoric feeling. And I think oftentimes people feel more connected to whatever they believe in, you know, that higher spirit, but it's because of the tobacco, how it affects your body. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, because it really is used as medicine in countries like this who are more connected to that. They understand the significance of tobacco and that it's not harmful. You know, there's so many people that are figuring out right now that the nicotine patches are actually curing a lot of things, and they're using them from different things, from certain types of cancer to even perimenopause. They're noticing like good positive effects just from wearing a nicotine patch. So these things need to be studied more, rather than just trying to take something away because they don't have an understanding of it.
The wild thing is they are studied. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, my wife's Ecuadorian, and in 2017 we were in the Amazon in Ecuador, and I went to a shaman just because, you know, when in Rome, right?
Yep.
He took tobacco leaves, like a bunch of tobacco leaves. He had a fumas. He had pure tobacco, and he was blowing smoke in my face, and he was hitting me in the head with his tobacco leaves, and he was whistling. And I'm just over here like, bring it on, brother. You know what I mean? Like, I love this, right? But you know, it's part, like you said, it's part of, it's the earth and everything else, and there is an understanding in certain countries of, as long as you don't add a bunch of chemicals and everything else, it's what, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure. Yeah. Smoke, bathing in smoke, or the smoke bath, or because I've been through that too, and it's insane. It's awesome. It's so good. I enjoyed it all.
Me too. Yeah. How's that undisclosed blend going for you, Josh?
Oh man, it's so good. I'm actually, because we're talking and like doing the whole thing, I'm smoking it probably twice as fast as what I should, but
Yeah.
it's great.
Same.
And the fact that it,
Like I'm almost done with mine too here.
yeah, see,
Well, I had your 675 by 56. So
yeah,
but I love a long. I knew this was a long podcast. I was like, yeah.
those soapboxes, man, those are so good. That's the
Oh,
classic
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
And actually, if you want a hint on that cigar, if you scroll down on my Instagram, there's a reel I did where I was testing that cigar for the first time I smoked it after I blended it. So you'll hear some of the things I say about it and the notes I was picking up on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jump into a couple of questions. That's okay with you guys?
Absolutely.
So, how did you all first get introduced to cigars?
Well, we have different stories, actually. I started smoking cigars many years ago when I was a single mom. I needed that time just to like step away a little bit. And I've never like done drugs, or I've never really like if I drink alcohol, I don't look for the buzz or anything. I truly appreciate the taste, but I wanted something where I could like sit outside and just step away for a little bit, but also know that my kids were safe. And I've always loved the smell of cigars. And so I went into a party store, or what are they? They're not party stores for other people. Like,
It'd be a convenience store anywhere else.
I'm from Michigan. We call everything a party store. That's not a grocery store. But so I went into a convenience store that I knew had cigars, and I thought I'd be educated on cigars, and I actually wasn't. The guy had no idea what he was talking about, but ultimately I was able to figure out like what a Connecticut was essentially. So I grabbed a couple of those and I smoked them, fell in love with cigars, and kind of the rest was history. But I didn't actually go to a lounge until after Josh and I were together, and I went to his lounge for the first time because I was so intimidated by cigar lounges. I was just like, I don't know if I want to be in a lounge with a group of men. Are these all like rich assholes? Like that's kind of what I had in my head. And then I went there and I quickly realized that's not at all what I thought. It's actually like the coolest people ever. And every lounge that I go to, it's just a bunch of amazing people who are so willing to share their life story or what they do for work and share ideas. And it was just a beautiful thing. And then from there, and I'll let him say his story in a minute, but from there, we actually decided to do factory tour in Nicaragua. And that was like literally, I think like a week before COVID hit.
Yeah, we got back and had to, we were moving. So everything shut down on the day we moved, which was 4 days after we got back from here.
Yeah.
The first time.
So we did the factory tour, and then ended up coming down to San Juan del Sur for like a day of vacation, and which is where we're at now. But anyway, fell in love with San Juan del Sur, and we were going to take our kids on vacation here, but then COVID hit, and the kids were like, well, we moved to Nicaragua. And we're like, what the hell are you talking about? We had them like kind of independently research Nicaragua and what it's all about. And they still wanted to move. And then we moved here, and a few months later, Dissedent was offered to us. And ultimately, obviously, we decided to take it. And that was back in
2021.
Late
21 December.
No, 21. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
We do research here.
And it gets so confusing. 20 and 21 are very confusing for me because of everything that was going on. It just all lumped in together. So Josh's story is a little bit different because he was a little traveler back then. Yeah.
So I guess the quick and dirty is my business partner and myself traveled all over. We still do social media marketing and affiliate marketing, and a bunch of other stuff, right? And we handle content creators and celebrities and things like that also. And we do events and all kinds of crazy shit, right? So we were traveling tons and tons of days a year. And he would always want to go, any city we were in, he'd be like, let's find a cigar lounge. And we'd go there and work. Like we'd land, we'd dump our shit, and we'd go to the lounge, we'd sit and we'd work the rest of the day, and probably the next morning before whatever event started. And I never had cigars. I was always like, dude, why? Okay, it's quiet. They have internet. I can get a cappuccino or something cool. And we did that a ton. And we had a mutual friend, Adrian, who does at Cigars and Guns. For those of you who are on the socials, excuse me. And he and Ryan both would say, like, dude, like, if you just have a cigar when you're in the lounge, it'll change the experience like a ton. And I was like, whatever, like, what the fuck's the difference? I'm doing this and working rather than just working. Like, how's this different? So anyway, on one of our stops, I grabbed a cigar at Ryan's recommendation, and we're in a rental car somewhere, Louisiana, I don't know, somewhere down south. I don't even remember what state. It was fucking balmy. I remember that. And I smoked the cigar, and he's like, what'd you think? I'm like, oh, it was great. Like, it was nice, whatever. And he's like, see, now you can do this whole thing. And I'm like, I don't need another thing. Because everything that's I love, I turn into like a thing, right? My fitness, the tattoos, like everything, writing, everything becomes a business for me. And I was like thinking like, dude, I don't need another fucking thing. And this won't become a thing because how could it? And we're in a lounge. I had a cigar, you know, I'm sitting there. And for the first time ever, a dude's like, hey man, what are you smoking? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Okay, things are different. So they were right all along, right? Nobody talked to me before. I have one cigar in a lounge and everybody's talking. So it immediately clicked, like the community and what it meant and all that the second I picked up a cigar. So that was awesome. And funny story is Ryan comes down here now about 5-6 months out of the year to stay with us. And he's got a house close, whatever. But I blame him for all of this because it became a thing still. It took a few years, but it still became a thing.
Dude, I gotta say, Ryan is such a cigar smoker. Because aren't you Ryan now? Aren't you asking people, "Hey, what are you smoking? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, totally.
It's like you want to share. You want to share. You see somebody not doing it, they're like, "Oh, I'm working." You're like, "What are you smoking, man?" Like, that's such a cigar. That's such a cigar smoker right there.
It is. Or you see the band and you're like, "Oh, huh? You know, Mil Diaz. What do you think of that?" You know, and because my experience with that's going to be vastly different than maybe yours. Not that it's a bad or good cigar. I just want to know what the hell they're thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But isn't that like the normal conversation that you ask everybody at the cigar lodge? Hey, oh yeah, by the way, my name is Frank. What are you smoking? And from there, that conversation can go on into like year friendship, and you know now I have a couple friends that like I've met at lounges that were like super close friends, and just by asking that one question, what are you smoking?
Yeah,
it's just an easy question.
Some call cigars the social equalizer. I call cigars the social lubricant.
that's a way. Maybe the 6x60s.
I was working in a lounge one time, and I had a guy. I literally looked up, and the guy just looked at me and went, like, "There you go." And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, like remote day, right? Like
remote day.
Remote. Yeah, I'm remote today. I'm still working there."
Love
That's
it, bro.
definitely a thing. You know it's the same with beards, right? The beard nod, like you see it in public. Like, I see you got that beard. I get it, and it's like you don't have to question it. It's just like, I gotcha. You don't do that with tattoos. You got a sleeve, but I'm not exactly gonna nod at your sleeve. But if you got a beard, it seems like the thing. I don't know. Same with cigars.
After I heard of the term yeared back in 2015, 10 years ago, I know, right? Already, I grew out a yeared, so my beard was down to here, yeared. Yeared, like a yeared.
Yeah,
like
I've never heard that
beard.
phrase,
Wow.
Oh, well, I'm sure yours is longer. I'm sure. Like mine was down to about what yours was, and I was very particular. I got my hair cut, and the girl was like starting to trim. I was like, whoa, I'm doing a yeared here. Like, leave me alone. I know it looks bad. Whatever. Because I didn't want to style it or anything. I wanted to see what it looked like for a year. But like you said, like what you said, after a certain point, people start to go, I see you, man. Go ahead, do it. You got it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know.
For no reason at all.
At this point, is that a thing?
Well,
decade?
yeah, but you trim yours a lot.
I do, yeah.
But people here call him Santa Claus because I mean Nicaraguans can't grow beards. So, you know, we thought when we moved here it'd be all about our tattoos because some people are like, oh, you need to be careful if you move to Nicaragua because they associate tattoos with gangs and all this stuff. And we're like, what? They do not.
No.
But it's funny because when they see us walking around, it's not about the tattoos. It's about his damn beard.
Yeah.
They all want to touch his beard and talk about his beard.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
Josh, walk behind me, man. Walk behind me. I want to get a compliment here. You know.
Well, that's the thing. If we go to the States, nobody gives a shit about me. I promise you that. It's all her.
Dude, this was a lot of fun when I was 23, and now it's like people are like, oh, hey, you know,
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, hey.
I've had my neck and face tattooed since I was 19, so a long fucking time. And back then it was like, shit, like this dude, like what's he seen? What's he done? Now it's like, wonder what his story is. He's too small to play for the NBA, so wonder what his deal is. You know?
Now you're like, you guys seen my hand? It's an implant. Yeah, it's an implant here. Yeah.
People still talk about his implants.
When did you get the implant? Because I know that's like the next step. Like you're like, all right, no one cares anymore. Like, what's the implant? Like
20 years ago, man. Like,
oh wow, pioneer.
Yeah. They were some of the first silicone ones. They're silicone. If you can see them smushy. But wow. They were done. Yeah, they were done by Steve Hayworth, who's the legend that created that whole world in Phoenix, Arizona. And he and I were just going back and forth because I sent him. I was like, dude, this was 20 years ago. He's like, how is that the case? Like, crazy.
He used to actually have implants on his chest too, like the dots on his forehead. He had them on his chest
years ago. Those I took out. They were Teflon, so they moved a lot and they were rigid. So they were just more problematic. These you don't even notice. So.
I didn't even know that he kept those things. I found this little bottle with these 3 half ball things in them, and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, those are my implants that used to be in my chest. And I was like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, it's like stop staring at my stuff while we move here. I just keep moving, By the way, everybody in the chat, the soapbox is definitely going great here. Is the other Ash
nice. Curious, what is your label? Does your label have a lightning bolt that is die cut, like it's larger than the band, or does it? Or is it? Band?
I think it's the same as the band.
Yep.
Oh, a little bit larger. Wait, let me see.
Yeah. That'll tell us whether it's an old blend or rather an older wrapper or a new different wrapper. Which yours is a newer wrapper.
Yeah, it used to be Mata Fina, but that's such a hard wrapper to get
in quantity.
This one, what was this? Ecuadorian Maduro?
No, that's a Brazilian wrapper.
Brazilian? Is it Brazilian?
Originally, it was the Brazilian Mata Fina.
Now.
And what you're smoking is Sumatra.
Hey, whatever it is, it goes great with rum. So
awesome.
Not to go against Penelope, it goes great with rum. And it probably goes great with the Penelope as well. Yeah. Old, new, doesn't matter. It's post 2021. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Well, the rave does too. I was going to suggest, I'm like, hey, for round 2, rum cask finish.
Nice.
Dude, rum with a lot of cigars is great.
Yeah, I can't drink rum. We don't drink tons really anymore. We used to drink a lot when we had cigars at night, but not so much these days. Usually I have a Coke, because we have the glass bottle of Cokes, the OG.
Oh yeah.
Cane sugar Cokes here, and so I'll have that almost always or nothing, and I'll have something before and something after. Like I love a good fruit tea with this. I apologize. I feel like we jacked up your flow of things because of our mishap at the beginning here, but
no.
A lot of times I'll do like a hot tea, like a fruity hot tea, especially if it's with a lighter cigar like the Soapbox or the Rave. But I'm having something else, plasmatic, Molotov, whatever, I almost never have anything with it. I just have it. I don't know about her. I mean, I do, but I'll let her talk.
Is the Coke? Is that a South American Coke, not a United States full of sugar
Correct.
Coca-Cola, right? It's
It's a
Actual cane sugar.
when I have Coca-Cola in Ecuador, good God, it's so good. It's so much less sugar. It's a different blend. It goes so well with cigars. You have to try it. Mexican Coke and South American Coke.
Mexican Coke is the
I smuggle the little Cokes.
Yeah. We all smuggle Coke. We all smuggle Coke from South America, and
It just happens to be brown and in bottles, right?
Yeah, exactly. It happens to be liquid, but
the liquid kind. Hey,
Oh,
when you guys,
my next smoke.
go ahead. What's that?
There you go.
The
That's
plasmatic.
plasmatic shit.
Plasmatic.
That's one of my favorites. I would have smoked that tonight, but we actually run out at our house. So like we need to get more plasmatics in this house, or else that's what I would be smoking right now.
Interesting.
there you go. Jasmine mint tea and cigars are amazing. I got to try it now.
Oh.
Do you drink it, Josh? Do you drink it hot? Do you drink it iced?
Always hot. Always hot with the.
I got to try that then.
To be honest, if I'm gonna have it, I'll do green tea sometimes, but I prefer a mixed berry tea if I'm having a lighter cigar, because a lighter cigar, as many of you guys probably know, takes on some of those notes, and because my shit doesn't generally work, it really adds to a lighter smoke for me. Like it might be too overpowering for a lot of people, but for me, it's like perfect.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I had two choices here. Once I got into the first third, I went with the bourbon because I wanted to bring out more of the sweet notes of the cigar, and it paired very good with this Ray. But the second half of the cigar is like really nutty and creamy. So now I'm getting like an abundance of like more sweeter notes on this. Well, it's done now, but yeah.
That's also what makes it so hard to blend a bourbon as well. That goes good with cigars, because you also have to remember the second third and the final third are so vastly different, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish I could be there every time someone buys a bottle or grabs them, like, hey, you know, like give them like these, like the story. So we're actually trying to figure out a way right now on how to incorporate the story with these Penelope bourbons, the cigar ones, because I think the story would be so helpful if there's like a QR code on the bottle, maybe, or something that you can scan so you can read, you know, what this bourbon is about and how it's going to pair well with certain cigars, or how it may change on the second third or the final third, or maybe you pick up this bourbon to have with the final third of whatever cigar, you know, because it does change. And a lot of times if you're drinking a bourbon, it's always a good idea to rinse your mouth for each after your first third, you know, maybe drink some sparkling water to rinse your mouth out and give it a fresh palate so you can truly taste each part of that cigar with the bourbon.
So what would you say is your was your favorite pairing of your line with the Penelope?
The plasmatic.
Plasmatic?
Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
You know what? It's funny because my shit doesn't work, and I say that a lot. Like, what I mean by that is
I have deviated septum, right?
Well, my smell and my taste just, they don't work, right? They don't. And so, like, if a cigar is good, that's what I'll say. Like, thumbs up, I'll smoke it again. Cigar's bad, it tasted like ass, and I'm just not doing it again, right? Or it smoked shitty. And that's kind of my, like, I'm not a 3-star because nothing's 3 stars. It's either great or it's shit for me. So when I was going through this with them, I found that I really, really loved the block with almost any combination of things we did. And then our limited edition Heretic, which is actually a pretty bold cigar, with my palate, was awesome with the whiskey because, like I said, I can't taste notes really, but I did notice some of the like lighter notes, the more airy stuff, the caramely kind of stuff that came out of that. And for me to even say that is weird because I normally can't, but the Heretic would help bring that stuff out. And if you guys haven't had a Heretic, holy shit, you should, because that's a great cigar.
That's the one with the little skull, right?
No, that is a revolt. The
A revolt,
heretic
okay.
is it's a
Bunch of
Churchill,
white.
so it's a long skinny, and
Oh, okay.
it's
It was a Northeast Midwest,
Midwest exclusive. You can still get it if you guys want. I know Black Crown Social will ship if you just call them or text them on IG. Just be like, dude, give me some heretics. They'll get them to you.
Black Crown Social.
But those cigars, like, they're just great, and they're different because it's a Churchill, which is abnormal for what heretic normally does. So you get a lot more.
What Dissident?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So you get a lot more wrapper flavor with it, and you get a bunch of other things that are just again a little different from what the Dissident lineup generally offers.
And the bourbon that we're talking about is this one right here, the Penelope Cigar Sessions bourbon that I blended with Penelope. This is chapter 1, which means there's going to be multiple chapters.
Awesome.
And I just remembered too that someone asked where to get the Northern cigars from the growers that we work with. And their cigars are at also Black Crown Social and Iowa Cigar Company. If you call either of those lounges, they should be able to help you out and get you some of their cigars as well. And I will say that their cigars are one of the most unique cigars you will ever smoke because they use a very, very rare tobacco called Chilcagre, which is an indigenous tobacco. Yep. And it's still used in Nicaragua as a ceremonial tobacco. And it's not really ever been brought to the States before.
It was illegal actually for a lot of years.
Yes. And Northern Cigars, we actually have access to this tobacco now. I'm very proud of that because it comes from indigenous farms. But they use that Chilcagre in their cigars. So if you do get a hold of those, understand you're really smoking
history.
Yes.
Is that they dig in the holes?
Yes, yeah, they bury the tobacco under the ground, and it basically ferments that way versus fermenting the traditional way in the pilons. So yes, it's a very unique process, and there's more to it than just putting it in the ground. But yes, that's one of the huge defining factors with that tobacco. It's also a shorter plant, and it looks like alligator skin. It's a very rough, thick leaf. But yes, so if you find their El Brujo in the red label or the green label, both of those have Chilcagre in it. It's just one has more Chilcagre than the other.
Cool. All right.
Super cool.
Now, would that be what kind of a fortaleza would that leaf be?
I don't know what they used on it, honestly. I'm not quite sure. But that would be a great question for them. If you guys don't follow Northern Cigars on Instagram, you definitely should, because those are wonderful questions for them that I'm sure they would love to answer.
Yeah, they
speak English.
Yeah, they do podcasts and stuff. We have had them on with us for various things. So people get a look at the process of actually growing, understanding the leaves, understanding the plant, understanding the soil, where it's grown, why it's grown there, why we choose to have things grown in certain places. Like, all that stuff is super cool and really awesome to hear from people who live it every fucking day. It gets crazy.
So, I saw that the video y'all made with a Cigar TV, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so interesting, and the fact that y'all went out and you know, they got your hands dirty and you got to see the farm. It's awesome. This is the awesome video. Those of y'all that haven't seen it, Cigar TV has that on. I think it's on YouTube. Check it out.
And
funny story too about that.
There will actually be full episodes. So they are partnered with Roku. So in about 3 months, you'll see the full episodes that they're doing of all those. So what you're getting on like Instagram and YouTube are actually just clips from the full episodes. So if you find a way to get Roku, and you can actually go to the Cigar TV channel on Roku and see some of their episodes they already have up. But yeah, that farm that we went to, that's actually where the boys started. That's where they learned about growing. And then from there, they started their own farms on Ometepe, as well as farms in another area that we can't talk too much about yet right now, because there's no one else growing where they're growing right now. So we have to keep it kind of quiet. But yeah, like just amazing information, and Cigar TV is wonderful. I was actually with them again in DC. They followed us around, the women of PCA. So you'll be seeing me again on another episode. So
Nice.
The cool thing is, like if you guys ever come down, and you're always welcome, we'll take you to see all the stuff, and you can check it all out. We'll smoke cigars and drink some local rum and enjoy. So
We might
the
take- we might take
invitation's
you on that
always
offer.
there. But
Yeah, booking my flight now. Nah.
what's crazy about it is, like, we're different. We don't operate like other brands operate. What we do is grassroots. I mean, we're here with the locals. Like, we live with locals. Like, we're not in some gringo like community and like all this stuff. And so it was funny because with us, when Cigar TV came, we're like, hey, I hope you guys are ready to get dirty, because this is when things get real. And we threw them in the back of a pickup and hit the road. You know what I mean? Like that, because that's real. That's the way it is. And if you go with us to Ometepe, we'll throw you in the back of a flatbed and we'll hit the road. We'll go check out the farms and see all the cool stuff and watch them do the things. And I mean, it's insane. And you'll get local food. You will stop and get some coconuts on the road to drink, and like, it's just real. It's not some curated thing, which I think is important in some ways for those brands to do. For us, it's important to not do that, because that's not what we do,
And yes, the boys from Northern Cigars, they're awesome. And I highly recommend you have them on the show, because they will talk your ears off about that process with growing. And they're so educated. Like, it's so great when I get to hear them talk about it, because of how much they know with growing, and they do it the traditional way. They still use oxen and horse and bare feet. One of their farms is actually right along the lake, and it moves closer to the volcano. So like the composition of the soil actually changes as you're walking. So it's so crazy. Like, and again, I highly recommend you have them on the show, because it'll be a very different experience for your listeners, because they'll actually learn the process of growing from local Nicaraguans who speak English. So you guys will get a really unique show out of that. So
yeah,
We all speak
definitely look into
Spanish.
that for sure. We speak. Me and we'll speak Spanish fluently, so
Yeah.
we're good
Yes.
at that.
nice.
Hablo poco de español porque mi esposa es de
Yeah.
Ecuador.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, we
I
got
can order
Spanish.
bread and food.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then there's Steven.
No,
Armenian.
Steven knows Spanish too.
You know
Speaks
¿Tú no
Armenian.
sabes? Yo hablo español.
Dude,
Yeah,
you,
man.
you better know.
El habla español mejor.
Ándale,
You better.
pues.
You have to know Spanish, to at least a little bit of Spanish, because lejero, all these words are Spanish words. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
Especially if you want to travel.
yeah.
So
So
there's a.
I was
Whoa,
gonna
whoa,
say.
hey.
No,
so-
sorry.
I was just gonna ask personally. So dissident usually means like going against the grain, all that stuff. What is something you guys, if you want to answer it, should change about the cigar industry as it is right now? What is something you would like to see that's like a big thing that maybe you think should change, or because dissident, from what I read, like I was like, what does dissident mean, right? Like, what does that mean? It means going against the grain a little bit. What is something you guys think should change about like the whole cigar industry?
Me personally, I think the story behind cigars should, like, the education behind cigars, or where your tobacco comes from. I feel like more people need to understand that, because that's a trickle effect. And the more people have an education on cigars, the more that's going to move up within the laws and Senate and the House to keep cigars alive. So my goal is the education aspect, not just talking about what a blend is, because we all know, everyone can talk our ears off about the blends, but what's the story behind cigars? Where does this come from? Who are the people working on the farms? What is life like for them? Like, I can tell you, Nicaraguans on average, they make $240 a month. That's it. And their work ethic is crazy. I mean, one of the guys from Northern Cigars, he was really sick for a year. And we watched everybody stand up and take his place and work on that farm. Even his sister-in-law, who was pregnant, she was out there 5 a.m. in the morning working until 7 at night on that farm. And it was so amazing to see the community that came together during this time. And I think that needs to be highlighted because, for instance, if we grow some tobacco, and Ometepe, for those of you that don't know, Ometepe is an island. It's a volcanic island. So the weather can be very unpredictable at times. I mean, last year we had that volcano erupt 3 times. And so in 2 years, we're going to know what that tobacco tastes like. And we're super excited for it because all that volcanic ash fell on those plants. So it's going to be a really unique flavor that's only going to be available for a short amount of time. But to understand that stuff and what the communities are doing, again, for instance, if you're growing on Ometepe and that weather is unpredictable, you might get a massive rainstorm that makes the stock of that plant just super weak, and now all your plants are destroyed. What does that do to a community? Well, they can no longer go out and pick that tobacco now. So what are they going to eat? What are they going to do? They can no longer provide for their families. And that is so important because if these people can't make their money, this industry is going to go away. We have to find ways to make sure these livelihoods, it keeps going. So people have to understand what they're smoking. It's not just about the blend. It's about what is behind that and that tradition that's with it. So I hope one day to see more people with an understanding of that aspect, because that's just going to help keep the industry alive, because we have to have that story in the hands of the government so they understand what they're fighting for versus, again, lumping it in with vaping products and weed pens and whatever else, because that's exactly what's happening. They're viewing it no different than vaping and cigarettes. I thought firsthand talking to these senators, they don't know. They're not cigar smokers. Some of them are. I met some that do smoke. One was a woman, actually, that I got to sit down with that smokes cigars. So she completely understood, but she's one person out of how many that just don't understand and literally view it like a giant cigarette. So we have to talk more about the heritage and the community that's behind these cigars. So that would be my goal. And I would say that's Dissident, right? Because no one's talking about that side of things. And we have to get that story going.
And mine is more rooted in kind of punk rock and that whole thing, because for me, now smoking cigars for roughly 10 years, even then, high fives to your Room 101s and your Drew Estates and people who are knocking the doors down in a different way, your Black Labels, who were doing things kind of outside the box, right? Which then kind of makes people say, well, what's this about? That artwork isn't gold leaf and, it's not some, pompous ass looking thing. Like, this is weird. So for me with Dissident, it's always been like a working class brand. You know what I mean? I want to see like dudes who got, grease stains and oil on their hands from wrenching on bikes and cars, and guys that go to rock shows, like tattoo artists, everybody who kind of walks on the fringes, your pipe fitters, your plumbers, they all smoke. Construction dudes, they're all smoking cigars. But you don't hear, you do more so now than you did 10 years ago, but you don't hear as much those people frequenting lounges. And those people are kind of misfits to this world, right? Still. Yeah. And we want them to know that they have a home with Dissident. And that, there's a ton of great brands, but you might not gravitate toward Crux, who have awesome branding. I talk about their branding a lot. Because, sorry about the frogs, you can hear them.
You're good.
But Crux is great with their branding because it's very specific. They nail it. And it's definitely millennial branding for your tech-minded, very smooth lines, it's perfect what they do for their customer base. I believe Dissident does that perfectly for our customer base. If you have a dude that's walking in with a Hyrax or an Anthrax fucking patch on the back of his fucking leather jacket, he's probably going to smoke the fucking cigar that's got the skull and mohawk on it, or that's called a heretic if they're a Slipknot fan.
I'm a huge
are-
I'm a huge rock person. Like I love rock. I'm more like the classic rock. Like I'm the like 80s hair rock and all the other stuff. So that's what really attracted me to your brand originally, because I love that whole punk rock and like, you know, vibe you have with your cigar, your branding, and I love it. Like that was honestly what attracted me to your brand for sure.
That's
Thank
great
you.
to know. And the thing is, with that, with all of that, everything she's talking about, everything I'm talking about, what it really comes down to is it's pretty obvious. If you're like, who owns Dissident, and you show them a picture of us, they're probably like, yeah, that makes sense.
That tracks. That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it's about. We want people that, you know, if you're at a, you know, one of my close friends, Darren McKeag, is doing the Indian Larry anniversary in New York right now. Those dudes smoke cigars. We hope they're smoking fucking Dissidents. Why? Because they're all a bunch of dissidents. They're living freedom.
Yeah,
They don't give a shit about nothing. They want their family fed and safe, and they want to get on their bike and ride. And that's shit that we're about. Like, we want people who feel outside the norm to understand, look, there's a place for you. And the coolest shit is when you sit down next to the dude in the sport coat, you're going to think, fuck, I don't belong here. And he's going to be like, bro, what are you smoking? And now you're going to have an awesome fucking conversation. And that is what we want people to do. We want them to connect, because then they'll do the nod. Like, I saw you in the fucking lounge the other day. They're walking with a Starbucks and a fruit smoothie, and dude's having a fucking 10 a.m. beer. You know, it's like, fuck yeah. They're still
Social lubricant.
There you go.
Definitely.
So I was one of my questions I wanted to ask, and I guess you kind of touched up on it, is Dissident has a bold, rebellious image. How intentional was that branding, and how do you balance it with appealing to like a broader cigar community?
Well, so Dissident's actually been out since 2013, but it never really had a backing behind it, and we're actually the third owner. So Dissident has always had that lightning bolt. And then Soapbox in general, if you notice, like Soapbox just says Soapbox, the block just says block, but what they did was they did the branding on the box. And what we did was we took it and we basically, so that was the traditional branding with Dissident. And we took it up a notch and started doing, like, for instance, you guys had the Molotov. We started doing actual artwork on the band so people can see that aspect of it. So we continue to do that stuff where it's seen more, because oftentimes you go into a lounge and what do the lounges do? They break off the top of the box, or the lid of the box, and then they just stick it on the shelf. So I mean, that artwork was being wasted in our opinion. So we started doing that with the labels. But we also have an understanding that, you know, with me working with PCA or doing things like there's a wonderful woman I know who is she makes wine, and she does very high-end events at golf courses or, you know, very wealthy people's homes. We are fully aware that Dissident is not for everybody. So I also have another brand I'm coming out with called Galleria Sultana, which is a higher end brand. It's going to have more elegant labeling to it, but still stick with our style. I'll just say that. But it's because we're not dumb. You know, we understand that our branding is not for everybody, but we still have that branding. We want the blue collar people to feel accepted and to feel like they can go into a lounge and smoke our cigars. But yes, we have another line coming out as well. So we're going to appeal to everybody.
And to be direct with your question, how intentional is it versus maybe not so much? It's so intentional because for us, it's an extension of who we are in our life and lifestyle. You know what I mean? So you're going to get what you get. And like she's talking, she can put on a nice dress and show up and she'll be the belle of the ball because she can be elegant and sexy and also have a massive edge. So people are always like, well, who the fuck is that? Like, there's a lot of beautiful people here, but who the fuck is that person? And like, you put me in a fucking suit, I'm still a monkey in a suit, right? But for her, it's a little different. And I love that. But when it comes to Dissident, itself, like that's all an extension of who and what we are. Like Heretic, even the name of that. That's about, if you look at the box, it's all these black on black lightning bolts except for one white one. Why? Because that's this. That's this part of it. And that's important for people to understand. Like, I'll high five anybody that's smoking a Rocky Patel or Perdomo. Like, hell yes, smoke that cigar and love it and buy more and support that brand. But also understand, we're going to slaughter all the fucking sacred cows that are out there to be slaughtered, not out of disrespect, but out of a love for the industry. Because what was is massively important. She just spoke all about it a moment ago. But what will be is up to us and up to you guys and up to the generation behind us. And if we're not pushing it, if we're not looking for change, if a band, because there's a million great cigars with cool bands, dumb bands, but if you take that band off, you're still smoking something that is extremely important. And I don't care what put it in your hand. And if I have to slaughter some sacred cows, or she's got to slaughter some sacred cows to get that in the hand of, you know, some next gen person who thinks it's silly, then we'll slaughter that fucking sacred cow. If I got to go on Twitch and talk up cigars, well, I guess Twitch is where we're fucking at. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, hell yeah. I like that.
Gotta go on X. Your white collar, blue collar.
I love you guys' authenticity also. I mean, just how positive you are, and just knowing, like, doesn't matter, you know, what you think of you at all. Like, as far as, like, when you first enter a room, smoke the cigar, you're gonna be positive. Like Josh, your IG is very positive. You leave positive messages.
Love that.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of people love that. I love that. Sin, same thing. Like, it's so great because, like, just pushing boundaries and everything else.
I will say, Josh, I was looking for a picture to put you on the promo for today, and I got sidetracked and I forgot what I was doing because I was reading every single like quote. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's a good one. That's a good one. One of my favorite ones is effort is sexy. I was like, wow, this is such a good knowing what you put today as well, or like I don't know, today or yesterday, but it was a really good post too. I'm like, man, it's such a good thing to be so positive, and I'm glad that you are doing that, because you don't see that a lot. You don't see people making the effort to, like, you know, reach out and be like, hey guys, you know, that you can do it, or like, you know, be positive.
Right. Yeah, I think it's important for both of us. I mean, the captive audience we're lucky to kind of have is great, cigar wise or not, you know, it doesn't matter. But I think it's important for people to understand, like, the reality of it is life is simple, but it sure as fuck isn't easy. And if you can have a kind of kindness and humbleness to everything that you're doing with the people around you, like, she'll talk a lot about women supporting women. And I think that's huge, because you always hear, you know, especially in dude circles, right? Oh, it's fucking catty woman bullshit, or some semblance of that phrase, right? But then what I think a lot of people forget is, once you get around women that are really supportive and kicking ass, you see something entirely different. That doesn't exist anymore. You don't have your fucking HOA Karen pissed about things. You have another woman shooting a message that nobody's ever going to see, so they're not getting any glory to her or somebody else. Like, hey, I see you, sister. You're fucking doing it. Keep doing that. And it's just like, when was the last time you sent that to your homie? You probably didn't. Or maybe if you did, it's been a while. And if you do that, they're like, bro, are you all right? And it's like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm checking in with you. Are you all right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that matters in this fucking life. Not cigars. They're great. But this, taking time for other human beings, that's the stuff that matters. Because at the end of the day, I'm just going to be some bearded dude that smokes cigars and love metal. Like, that's it.
Hell yeah.
Like, hopefully they dig what I did. Hopefully she's like, yeah, he was a good husband. But 2 generations from now, I'm not going to have that. What I'm going to have, hopefully, is an army of people out there, same with her, that are like, hey, you know, it's sad that X person passed away, but man, at my darkest times, I would go to their IG, or they'd send me a message, or I could call them up or whatever. that kind of shit. That's what matters. That's what it's all about.
But you know,
And by the way, sorry, go ahead, Randall.
I was gonna say, but that's not it, Josh, because you had already said, like, in the industry, you're so authentic because you said, I don't know why, earlier you was like, I just know I like it.
Yeah.
So many people are gonna try to fake it. Oh, leather, all this stuff, right? You're just like, I like it or I don't like it. Is that not the most fundamental question? Does your brain like it? Are you gonna do it because your brain likes it? Like,
Right.
you're not trying to put on a show. Oh, we have leather and cocoa and everything else. You're just like, I like it. And then Sin might be like, well, I taste the chocolate, I taste the leather and all that. But you're
100%.
like, I like it. And I appreciate that about you guys, because you were just like, yeah, she's got all that. I like it. Right. And that's what I appreciate, because a lot of people will call bullshit on that stuff, right? But we all taste it in different ways. Where all our palates are different, but we all taste it. But you're just like, well, I just know I like it. And I appreciate that. And I think we all appreciate that, and the people in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Even with our, because we all have like individual channels where we review cigars. And I always tell people, like, at the end of the day, like, all that matters from the review is your conclusion, because people don't remember all these, fluffy notes or whatever, these nice descriptions. It's just like, yeah, I recommend this cigar or I don't recommend it, based on your palate. And that's what people are going to remember. Like, oh, Hugo,
The overall,
like
the overall.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's why we don't bag on any other cigar brands. You'll never hear us talk shit about another brand. There are cigars I don't like, but there's cigars we do like, and there's tons of great cigars out there. And like, if you like them and I say that cigar sucks, like, so I just said your taste sucks, and like, that's not okay because you like it. No. Who am I to fucking say that? But like, this is what we use to light it, right here, a Bic,
soft flame,
a fucking $2. I mean, we have nice stuff, but a lot of people think, oh, I got to spend $80 on a lighter and 70. Yeah.
I don't give a shit what I cut it with. Like, it's plastic. It cuts tobacco leaves. I don't care.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. Some things may help, like soft flame versus hard flame. Like, all that stuff is great. I think it matters to people in different ways. To us, we live here. Like, this is Bics are the easiest, so that's what we use. And they smoke and we love them. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say we're already running a little past our time, but we definitely need to have you guys on again to part 2, because there's so many questions that we didn't get a chance to ask, but hopefully you guys will join us again in the future. Sure. I mean, we had such a good time, and I can't wait for the band that has Josh's face on it. We already have one with Sin. We need Josh's face on a cigar band.
No thanks. That's
definitely not my idea. Just for you guys, called the El Duende.
Yeah.
For those that know.
Yeah. So, real quick, we always do at the end. We go around and we have see what we have going on with the panel. So, Hugo, what do you have going on? What do you have coming on for this week?
Hey, just gonna address this comment right here. The guest, he's like hard on this the Mortal Coil, man.
Great name.
Yeah, that one was a little rough, but I mean,
I smoked that cigar and it was it gave me a run for my money for sure.
Thank you, CCW. Thank you for the comment.
Thank you.
You got this guy's like one of your number one top biggest fans, man. CCW 2472. Hell yeah.
Appreciate you.
Good people.
Appreciate you.
He's been
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Before we go into that, I just want to touch up on one thing. You mentioned the whole the whole community that is involved with producing cigars, and that's something that I've always mentioned, like, because I go live sometimes, like on Friday mornings. Well, actually try to go every Friday morning, and I got friends that I've met in the industry that have like their own cigar factories out in the DR. One of my buddies, he's actually also in Esteli, And then we recently met this guy. He's from Cuba, and he's making cigars here. AG Alex Glez. And I always want to touch every time that we do collabs, and I bring them on, and I always want to. That's a question that I always ask, like, how are the people treated? Like, how what do you do for like your workers and stuff like that? So I want to ask that question to you guys. Like, do you do something for your community, outside just like regular work, where you have your people producing the cigars? What is it that you bring to the community?
So we actually, when we first moved here, we bought some land, and we were originally going to build a house on it, and we didn't do it because we love the house that we live in. And so what I ultimately did was I actually donated that land to have an animal rescue center built on it. So they're currently in the process of doing that, because for those of you that don't know, Nicaragua, being a third world country, there's a lot of street dogs and stray animals that really need help. If people can't eat, neither can these dogs. And so we see a lot of dogs that are in in dire need of help. We have 4 dogs ourselves. If I did not donate this land, I'd have 50 dogs. So I knew I needed to do that. So the company that, I should say, the nonprofit that's doing this, we actually got involved with them as soon as we moved here. Our kids volunteer. It's called SOS. They volunteer at the vet and the rescue center to help take care of these animals, and we've always been involved with them. So that's one way that we give back to the community. And also I work with a whale biologist. So there's a lot of times I'm out on the ocean helping her to research the humpback whales. So I'm trying to, yes, like I involve myself as much as possible. And again, with PCA, that's something I chose to do because I do everything 110%. So if I'm going to own a brand, I want to know from the ground up everything that's happening in the cigar industry and beyond, what's happening in the government, so I'm involving myself in as many areas as I can, including in the country that we live in, because countries like this desperately need help. People need help, animals need help, and we're really big on making sure we're doing our part in helping. We keep dog food in our truck. Anytime we see a really skinny dog, we stop and we dump a bunch of dog food out. We know that even though we can't take that dog home, we're doing our part, and we know at least that night that dog is going to sleep with a full belly, and that matters to us.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I see that someone's asking for a link to SOS. I can't remember their link, but it's SOS
Animalis on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you go there, you'll find links so you can donate. And honestly, if you follow the page, you can donate. Yes,
they actually absolutely need money right now for the rescue center, because that's all donation based. So right now they did the well and the electricity, and they can't really move further than that right now because they need donations to start on the foundation and everything else. So yes, and you will find links to all of that.
And I will say that if you follow that page on Instagram, you'll see Delaney and Marley, who run it, who are great people, but you'll see they'll post about specific animals that are in need. Adoption, yes, but in need. They need specific things at this moment. And if you knew the amount of money we have spent helping very specific dogs, or the ones that we've rehabilitated in our home, it's a lot. And if you follow along and you got an extra $10 or $5, or skip your Starbucks in the morning so you can help a dog, like, it'll go to that dog. Like, if you want updates on it, just hit their IG, be like, hey, how's Snoopy doing? Like, how is she? I put in $50 for this. How is she doing? And they'll tell you. They'll respond and let you know what's up. So, I mean, it's not some arbitrary, pie in the sky you're throwing money at. You'll be helping this animal, or, this very specific thing. So thank you guys for asking that question.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, there's this saying in Spanish where if you translate it, it says, you can't, when the sun rises in the morning, it shines for everybody. So, everybody should have a piece of the pie, and that's awesome. But like Frank said, you guys are a great guest. We're hoping that we can bring you guys back on for part 2 because since somebody gave a spoiler alert about a new project, so maybe you guys can share that with us in the future, and maybe there's a chapter 2 of Penelope out by then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having said that, for me, I have my Friday morning live, and I think I'm gonna smoke. I think I have a cigar from Sinistro called the First Cowboy, something like that. I've been holding it out for a while. Saturday morning,
the last Cowboy.
No, this is the First Cowboy. Yeah, I know. It's an old one. Yeah. Interesting blend. Yeah, and then on Saturday morning, I think I'm gonna drop the Artesano del Tabaco, the eel. So that's what I got coming up this week, Frank.
Yeah, sorry, my dog's going crazy here. And the reason that I asked about that First Cowboy because I'm a huge fan of the last Cowboy from Sinistro. That's why when you said First Cowboy, I was like, "Woo, I need to start looking that one up."
It's an old one.
Old
one. Yeah, I think it came from like Privada Cigar Club or something like that. Yeah.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah. So I have another review coming up for the brand is called Kingmakers. They made a cigar for a WNBA player called Kelsey Plum, and I have that one coming out probably Sunday, and just continue to do reviews. And I already finished recording my Humidor tour. So I'm editing that, and it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be 2 or 3 parts. I'm not sure yet, but not that I have that many cigars, but I don't want to make like a 25-minute video, so I might split it up, 10 minutes or so. But that's all I have going on for this week.
Nice. So I was listening to you guys, even though I was muted and everything. Yeah, when I go to Ecuador, there's a lot of stray dogs also. So I'm wondering if that's like a South American thing. It's like they're everywhere.
Any third world country, really.
Yeah,
Mexico down.
It's anything outside the U.S., bro.
Yeah, the first time I went to Ecuador in 2016, I was surprised at how many like beautiful dogs were just like, oh, that's a street dog, and I'm like, street dog, right? Like, because like so yeah, it's definitely a crazy thing, but for me, I have to do probably the last Chamole cigar they sent me several months ago. I realized I never did I think it was a Dynasty I never did. I have to probably get the Dynasty out. So I'll do that review. But I want to make sure everybody knows, like, definitely deep dive on my channel. I get age restricted a lot because I still smoke on camera, and YouTube doesn't like that. So if you happen to find yourself in cigar smoke, what is my channel called?
Cigar Scope.
If you happen to find yourself on Cigar Scope,
let me bring your name up.
Definitely deep dive my channel, because I was looking today. I was just curious. I was looking at all my videos. I was like, age restricted. But yeah, I'm gonna do a Chamole and maybe something else. It depends on how much time I have on Friday, and then I'll do something else on Sunday. But it'll be a couple of reviews coming out.
Nice.
And Steven?
Nice, man. So next Monday, I do my drops on Mondays. So I've got that Aganorsa leaf, Supreme leaf, the one that Hugo just reviewed. I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that on Monday, and then we get the AG Gloriosos on the subsequent Monday. So got some stuff coming out. Some Humidor tours are sort of in the works, but it's going to be like a 47-part series. So I'm not jumping into it right now.
Oh man!
And then some more unboxings. Yeah, you saw. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we saw the short. I was like, good God.
I mean, that's not even half of it. That's like just yeah. So it's a problem. Anyway, that's me.
Nice. So Josh and Cynthia, any closing thoughts for us, for the chat and people that are gonna hop on the rewatch?
Just keep watching what we do, because we have a lot of irons in the fire right now. And most importantly for me is just really pay attention to PCA. I'm really strong on that fight right now with cigars. It's really important right now, and PCA needs the love because a lot of people think that PCA is just a convention, and it's not. They're literally the governing body for our cigars. So really pay attention to them, give them some love and some likes, and yeah, because you'll see a lot more of me on there as well. It's really important to me. Cigar education for sure.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
Nice.
Josh?
Oh man. You know, I guess I don't have much to say beyond, you know, the whole Mr. Rogers thing, right? You know, and I guess Bob Barker, spay and neuter your pets and be kind to one another, right?
Awesome. Drop your social so people can follow you on is it only have Instagram, or do you have also YouTube?
Yep, Instagram. My personal page is Sin Coburn, and then Dissident underscore official
Smoke
is
Dissident
or smoke.
underscore. Yeah, it's
Is
Smoke
it?
Dissident underscore official. Yeah, I had to look it up. I forget. You just
Awesome.
log in. You
No,
never look at
Dissident
your own stuff.
Cigars undersure official.
Is it? Fuck, I don't know.
How are
Jesus
we
Christ,
not
look at
knowing
us.
our own page?
We're the worst business people ever.
That's
on.
all right.
He's
I'm-
getting it confused with our email.
Maybe I'm just at Joshua Coburn, or just Google.
It's Dissident Cigars underscore official.
There it is. There it is. She's got it.
Awesome. This is
Okay,
cigars.
okay.
It's funny. I get more followers on my personal page than we do on Dissident. I don't know why, but people tend to go to my personal page more than they do Dissident. But if you go to my personal page, you'll see in my bio, you'll see Dissident Cigars linked right there.
Yeah, same.
And same with Facebook, Sin Coburn.
Awesome. Nice. Well, thank you guys for jumping on, and stay tuned for part 2, everybody.
Definitely.
Have a great night.
Bye, guys.